Hi guys, we're going to take some time to talk about nutrition, especially now that we're all staying at home. So we're just diving straight into it. First, why is it important? Now, nutrition is really important because it forms the base of our athletic development. On top of this, we've got things like metabolic conditioning or gymnastics where you move your body through space, weightlifting where you're controlling an external object, and finally the real expression of your fitness is in your sport, your chosen sport, whatever that is. But all of this means nothing if you've got a poor base. So that's why this is really important. Now for today's discussion, I want you guys to think about food as a fuel and food as a drug. Like conventionally, people tend to think of it more as calories in or calories out. That's not really an effective way of approaching your nutrition. So we want to take it from a hormonal kind of perspective today. So there are two key hormones we're going to look at in your metabolism. First is insulin. Now insulin's job is to store energy whenever you eat something. And the other one is glucagon. Now its job is to mobilize or to make that energy available to you in your bloodstream. Now these two things are really important because they help control your blood sugar, and blood sugar control is a key factor as part of your nutrition efforts. So what, okay, about having your blood sugar control and stuff like that? Now with our current diets, we tend to see a situation where there is a hyperinsulinemia or too much insulin in the blood. Now when that happens, it results in metabolic syndrome, which is a cluster of conditions that include stroke, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, as well as obesity. So to combat these things, we need to make sure that we control our blood sugar levels or that hormonal response that we're talking about. Now, how do we do it? This is what we need to eat, and this is how much of it we should be eating. Right? We want you to eat meat, vegetables, nuts, seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. How much of it to eat? We want to keep intakes to levels that support activity but not excess body fat. This takes care of your quality of food as well as your quantity. Alright, so now that we know what we should be eating and how much of it we need, will this work for you? Well, if you never try it, you never know. So over the next few weeks, since you're stuck at home, get a book and keep a food log. Write down what you're eating every day, just for a few days, and that's going to be your baseline. Now you compare that with your output levels, or your fitness levels, or how you're feeling. That's going to give you a good indication of where you're at currently. Once you have that established, it's time to make some tweaks. So here's where you add, remove, or replace certain food items, or maybe even quantities, and see if these changes work for you. It's really important that you make sure these things are measurable so that you can observe and then repeat and make changes along the way. Now remember, the idea is that you eat quality foods in quantifiable amounts that are appropriate for you. So if you can't remember all of this, just remember that. Have fun.
Hi guys, it's great to see all of you again. I hope you guys are well in this season. So today we're going to talk a little bit about intensity. So we know that high intensity workouts is great. Why? Because it brings your fitness to a next level. It improves your fitness tremendously. However, in CrossFit or in functional fitness, we talk a lot about this, and you hear a lot of people say that, oh, I don't like CrossFit because it focuses so much on intensity, and that's the only thing that we're pursuing. However, that's actually the furthest from the truth. But I also like to say that if you find me a fitness program that is 100% safe, you're also going to find a fitness program that isn't very effective. So which is more important? Technique versus intensity. So that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. So, which is more important? I'm going to use a little bit of analogy to talk about that. So, imagine you are a race car driver, and there are a few types of drivers, okay? And there's the first driver, driver A. Driver A has an immense amount of speed. He is a daredevil. He has intensity. He goes hard every single time. He tries his best to hit the fastest speed compared to the other drivers. However, 9 out of 10 times, he crashes his car, totals it, survives miraculously, hits the grass, bangs other cars, disregards intensity altogether, technique altogether. However, you also have race car driver B. Race car driver B has tremendous technique. He is very safe. He doesn't hit any other car. However, he's very safe because he's driving at 40 kilometers per hour. So which is more effective? Which is a driver that's going to be to emerge the winner? You're going to realize that neither of them. However, you're going to look at the driver who has both technique and intensity. The driver that drives pretty fast, yet at the same time takes the effort to make sure that he doesn't bang other cars as much. But it doesn't really matter because he slows down when that happens and then he speeds up at the right time again and again. So how do we reconcile our technique versus intensity? How do we keep that balance? And we do that via our charter of learning, or rather our threshold training, we call it, through something called mechanics, consistency, and intensity. What do you mean by that? You start by learning the mechanics of the movement. You learn how to do a squat. I'm sure all of you know how to do a squat. You start with your heels on the ground, your knees go out, your chest is straight. You learn that. You learn the basics of that first. Then after that, you show me consistency. Can you do 10 reps of your squats? Can you do 10 reps well? Can you do it at an okay speed? Once you show me that you can move in a consistent manner, then we go up to intensity. You go faster, 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 faster. Great, great. However, you are going to find out, you're going to realize that you're going to reach a point where in that 1 minute of max squats, for example, there are a few squats which are going to degrade. You're going to lose your form. You're going to lose your mechanics. What do you do then? Slow down. You take it easy and you come back to mechanics again. This is our charter of learning. Once you do that, you speed up again and again, get consistent, then you go intensity. If you realize your form is breaking, come back to mechanics. It's the same thing like, imagine you're learning how to type on your phone. You type fast, you make a couple of mistakes, you slow down, you backspace a bit, then you speed up again and again. It's the same idea. A lot of you in this period, you're going to find lots of fitness programs out there. They are going to tell you to push it. However, I want to tell you right here, right now, to focus on your mechanics. Be consistent in your movements first, then eventually speed it up. This is going to keep you safe, and this is going to keep your training effective over this stay-home season. So I hope you guys are safe, stay strong. See you really soon.
Guys, we're going to take a look at the kettlebell swings. It's something that you'll likely be doing at home if you've got access to a bell. Kettlebell swing is a great way to keep in shape and to strengthen the back muscles. Here's what a few reps look like. And rest, take a break. Okay, put it down. Okay, in the setup, we need to see the following things happen. First, he's going to have his heels on the ground. He's maintaining his grip on the bell and his back's nice and straight. This is really, really important. From here, he's going to hike the bells up to his heels and perform a swing. Now in the finish position, we need to see the bell pointing up, the arms are extended, the hips and knees are fully extended too. Put the bell down, take a break. Now here are some common faults that we tend to see with the kettlebell swing. In the setup, we sometimes see people rounding out their backs. That's unsafe, don't do that. Now can you straighten your back out first, Josh? Great. The next fault we tend to see, pick the bell up, when people swing, is that they tend to squat a little bit too much. Looks like this. And rest. Now the kettlebell swing is not a squat, it's a hinge movement. So what we want to see instead, pick it up, is that he sends his hips back with a slight knee bend and violently swings the bell up to an overhead position. Now some faults we can see in the finish look like this. We either have the bell drooping or pointing forward. Whoa, okay. Send it back up, Josh. Now with the arms, we can see the elbows bent. Straighten the elbow. Good. We can see the shoulder closed or the bell finishing in front of the body. Swing it back a little bit. Thank you. Now down here we can start to see the hips being closed. So close your hip. Or we can see the knees being bent in the finish. These are things that we do not want to have happen in the finish position. So we want to see him nice and fully extended at the top. Okay. And take a break. Now, one of the most important things that you need to take note of when you're doing your swings, especially at home, is how to abort the lift if the kettlebell goes a little bit too far behind you, like so. This is essential. Okay, here's what it looks like in slow motion. Now, Josh is going to swing the bell up and keep it overhead. Once he feels that it's tipping a bit too far back, he's going to turn around and guide the bell down with him, placing it on the floor gently. This is very, very important to do, and we recommend that you practice this before you start any of your swings. That's all. Thank you and stay safe.
Hi guys, I hope you guys are great and well. Today we're going to talk a little bit about one of the basic movements we have here in functional fitness or CrossFit, and that is called the air squat. All right. Now, I know a lot of you guys have been doing function fitness or CrossFit for a long while, and you may have heard this word called virtuosity. It means doing the common uncommonly well. And that's what we're going to focus on today. So the first movement, the basic movement of the air squat. Now, I know a lot of you guys like to do sexy stuff. Things like your snatches, things like your clean and jerk, your back squat, your front squat. However, I assure you in this next month, when you guys don't have much access to any big weightlifting, if you guys focus on the air squat, if you focus on building and improving your air squat, I assure you that your lifts, your weightlifting movements are going to shoot through the roof, even though you're going to spend some time away from that. All right, so right now we're going to invite Nick to help us out. So we're going to do the air squat. So I'm just going to show you how it looks like real quick. So you're just going to do 3 reps of the air squat. Simple and easy. Great. So from here, we're going to run through a couple of points that we want to see in this air squat. So first things first, maybe you can face. So he's going to keep his heels on the ground. As he does his squat, his heels stay on the ground. Now if your heels come off the ground in this manner, that's not too good. You want your heels to stay on the ground the entire time. Next thing, moving up, his knees. His knees are tracking outwards in line with his toes. Now if your knees come inwards, this is not too good, all right? I want you to track your knees in line with your toes. Next thing, you're going to make sure you're initiating your squat using your hip. In other words, your hip is moving back first. All right? If he's doing what we call a knee-initiated squat, in other words, he moves his knee first, that's not too good. All right? Make sure you push your hips back first as you do your squat. The next thing, of course, your back has to remain straight, or what we call a stable midline. From the start of the movement to the end is showing a stable midline. Now, if you round your back, for example, you lose your lumbar, or you overarch your back in this manner, that's not too good. You want to make sure that your midline is stable from start through to the end. Of course, next thing, you want to make sure your hips go below your knee. You experience full range of motion. All right? Now, if it goes too shallow, that's not too good. You want to make sure your hips just go below your knee and you stand tall. Last but not least, you want to make sure your torso is upright. All right, as he squats, his torso is kept upright. You're not leaning forward too much at the bottom of the squat. All right, make sure you keep your chest upright as you go through the squat. So in the last fault that we talked about was that his chest drops forward. So sometimes as you do your squat, your chest leans forward and dips forward, and like as such, like what Nick is displaying right now. So one of the things that we can do is what we call squat therapy, to kind of build not just this, but fix all other points of performance of the squat as well. So the wall squat's intention, all right, is really to help you keep your chest upright as you do your squats. So how do we set up for your wall squats? You're going to set up similar to how you would for your air squat in terms of your feet position. From here, you're going to just extend your arm. You're going to stand about 1 arm's length away from the wall itself. From there, he's going to raise his hands up high, and he's going to squat. He's going to attempt to keep his chest up the entire time and stand. All right? So one more time, he's going to show a squat. The goal is try not to touch the wall as well, and stand. So from here, you're going to realize that, hey, his chest is dipping forward, yet at the same time, he's not able to achieve depth. So what's going to happen, I'm going to introduce a little bit of a tool for him to, for us to just help him have a target. So you're going to try to reach the target, at the same time, try to keep his chest up. At the same time, try to reach the target and find balance in himself. So over here, just a little bit lower, up. Okay, so one more time, we go squat lower, lower, keep your chest up higher, good, stand. Now, once this is good, he's achieving a little bit of depth. Now, you're going to reduce the height of this object, which is on the floor. So, you're going to go down, keep your chest up higher, good, stand. Now, all other points of performance also need to be maintained in this squat. Make sure your heels are staying on the ground. Make sure your knees are tracking out. One more time. So, your heels come off the ground as you're doing this by keeping your chest up. But no, you want your heels to stay on the ground. And at the same time, hit your target, stand. All right? So, it's a little bit of a ding-dong thing. You want to reach down lower, at the same time you want to keep your chest up. One more time. So squat down, lower, keep your chest up and stand. So as we go, as we are successful in that, he's going to take a small step forward to the wall, incrementally do that to make it a little bit more challenging for yourself. All right? Take this away as we go along, and you realize that he's having difficulty achieving that, loses balance maybe, and from there, reintroduce this for yourself. All right, make it easy. Make this a target. From here, touch, stand. Once you're able to display that you're doing this well, lower the height till the point where your hips can go below your knee. And then from there, you can remove this altogether. And you're going to squat. You're going to try to keep your chest up and stand. Right at the bottom, you want to keep your abs tight. You want to make sure that as much as possible, your torso is upright and all other points of performance remain intact. All right, the gold standard for this wall squat is when your toes actually touch the wall. Cool? Wall squat first. Now, another thing that we can do to aid us in keeping our torso upright is actually using a counterbalance. So let's just say we're going to use a little bit of a chair right here. So from here, he's going to extend his arms. The counterbalance is supposed to help him keep his chest upright. All right, from his stand. If he's comfortable with that, what he can do is two things. He can bring the weight closer, the counterbalance closer to his body, stand. Or number two, he can use a lighter object for yourself to do the squat therapy. All right, thanks so much. So in a nutshell, we want you guys to practice this, all right? We want you guys to spend time doing this. In the next 1 month, do a little bit of a before and after. After this video, head to your wall at home, in your room. Place a camera there, do a video of yourself in profile view. Look at how you're doing your wall squat. All right, from there, keep practicing your wall squat. You're not going to get it overnight. You're going to keep practicing and you're going to find your progress to be slow but steady. After 1 month, do the same wall squat again. Video yourself down. See whether you have improved or stayed the same. If you have improved, I assure you guys that all your other things that you want to do in functional fitness and CrossFit is going to improve. So please take time to do that. Stay strong, stay safe. See you soon.